Kari Lake has filed a petition with the Arizona State Supreme Court begging them to let her skip the usual appeals process and just go right to the Supreme Court again with her "I want to turn over the election results from 2022" lawsuit. This is getting exhausting at this point, and I'm sure the court system in the state of Arizona thinks the same thing because they actually have to deal with it on a deeper level than I do. But as long as Kari Lake continues to file these idiotic lawsuits after getting smacked around by every court along the way in the state of Arizona, then I unfortunately have to continue talking about it so that I can continue to debunk her talking points. But here's what's funny. As we all know, back in May, Kari Lake lost her most recent election challenge. And that was actually a remnant of her original election challenge, where she lost in the lower court, she lost in the appellate court, then she lost at the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court said, wait, let's send it back down to the trial courts. Even though you're lying, even though you haven't produced any evidence to back up any of your claims, I mean, literally any other claims, that's what they said, you can take this one tiny piece of it about the ballot size in Maricopa County, and you can take that back down to the trial court. That was the case, the trial court case, that got tossed out in May. She has appealed that. And now she's saying, I don't want to go through the whole appellate process. I don't want to go to the appellate courts. So Supreme Court in Arizona, how about y'all just do it? Like, you just let me skip the line and go right to the end of the line, you know, because that'll be fun, right? Here's the thing. Kari Lake and her lawyers, this is so funny to remember this. Her two lawyers representing her, one's an employment lawyer and one's a divorce lawyer. Like, neither of them have any experience whatsoever trying anything related to elections. Again, a divorce lawyer and a labor lawyer. So clearly didn't pick the best she could. Maybe it's all she could afford. I don't know. Maybe these guys are experts in their fields and she thought, hey, if you know so much about divorce and labor, clearly you know about elections. I don't know the selection process. All I know is that she probably didn't put much thought into it. A lawyer's a lawyer, she thinks. But either way, the lawyers claim in their letter to the Supreme Court, we've got new evidence. We've got new evidence that suggests that some of the printers may have actually printed wrong size ballots that couldn't be read by the tabulators. You know, which is pretty much the exact same claim we've made time and time again that we didn't have any evidence for and was already debunked. But we think this time, if we say it in a different way, you're going to believe it. Now, there's two reasons why that's stupid. The first one, as I said, that's already been debunked. Because even the ballots that were printed on different sized paper were counted by hand. So even though they couldn't be read by the tabulators, they were counted by hand, so nobody lost their vote. So that's reason number one why this new evidence is bullcrap. Reason number two why this is stupid is because in the appeal process, you're not allowed to bring new evidence. And I'm sorry, but these are lawyers. These are people who went to law school, people who have passed the bar, and they're telling the state Supreme Court, we've got new evidence for our appeal. What? We're not? You can't put that in there? Oh, wow. Sorry, Judge. Totally didn't know we can't introduce new evidence on appeal. Oh my God. Oh my God. For those of you who do not know, and I've worked 20 years in the legal industry, so that's why it's so shocking to me that they would even make this argument. An appeal is not a retrial, okay? Like when you lose a lawsuit and then you appeal that ruling, you're not going to a different court to get a whole new trial. And I think a lot of people are under that misconception. The appellate court's job, and this goes all the way up to like the Supreme Court, all they're doing is making sure that the lower court got it right. Basically making sure that, okay, all the correct procedures were followed, all the evidence was introduced correctly, all the evidence was weighed the same by the jury. There were no jury problems. They do hear arguments, of course, but you can't redo the case. That's not what the appellate process is about. But these lawyers, based on this filing, don't seem to understand that. And it's one thing if the average person walking around the streets doesn't know that information, but for a lawyer to not know it, I don't know. That kind of seems like maybe legal malpractice. Whatever it is, Kari Lake and her legal team, as I talked about earlier this week, they were already sanctioned and fined $122,000. But as I said back then, which again, back then, like 3 days ago, that's not enough. If the courts really want to put an end to this, they're going to have to up that number of the sanctions into the millions. Otherwise, for all of eternity in perpetuity, Kari Lake is going to challenge these election results, and these courts seem more than willing to let her keep doing it. They keep calling her a fake. They keep telling her she has no evidence, but they haven't done anything real to actually stop her from abusing the system. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.